You've landed in the confidence zone with Susan Axelrod, the confidence coach. This is a place for topics of information and inspiration, a place to support you to find your confidence, get bold, and get going. Activation is needed today at all levels. Don't wait for someone else to lead. Lead now where you are with what you have. Your energy and enthusiasm matters. Believe it or not, it impacts all of us. Find your confidence, get bold, and get going. Hello, friends. I want to ask you if you are in my cohort, a baby boomer. I'm at the end of the cohort. If you would join me in supporting the future leaders of any country you happen to be in where you're seeing this video. The millennials need our help and support. And if a millennial is watching this and you say, no, I don't, oh gosh, I invite you to just open up because I was you. I was a young professional, ambitious, driven, on point, working in a career that I happened to land in that I just loved. And I did it for really, I'm still doing it, but for 35 almost full on years, dedicated years. I created a second career for myself as a coach as I moved into 50 and beyond. But I've always loved and also stayed with my primary industry as a fundraiser. But in those early years, as I was raised in a high achieving, dare I say, overachieving family with high expectations on me that created high expectations in me about myself, I really got onto what I call the hamster wheel and started just going, and doing all the things that I had been sort of groomed to do just by growing up in a family making an impact. I was blessed and really lived in privilege, and I knew that. And boy, I really stepped into it. I did my work. I was a volunteer. I was as good a family member as I could be. And I really felt a responsibility to show up. I did this for many years, including feeling an ambition that I really wanted to produce and to be productive in my life. And in the end, that didn't really go that well for me. By the time I was in my mid 30s, I had a bit of an emotional breakdown. I ended up in bed for 10 days and so on and so forth. I did seek out therapy. Eventually, by 40, I was on medication for 7 years. I ended up getting off the medication and changing my life up. That's a story for a different time. But I remember the feeling and the responsibility of being what I might call a young professional. Basically, from the age of 22, I started working in my career. A lot of people don't start that early. They look around and find some things. But I started working in my career. I ended up staying in it. And because I started so young, by 30 years old, I was 10 years in, full on in the same career. And by only 37, I was kind of a senior level person in my field. So I had a lot of self expectation. I created a lot of externalized expectation. I was speaking, writing, leading, etc. And then I had my sort of breakdown, an emotional breakdown, because I had been ratcheting up. And so this is just a little bit of the background about why I feel fierce today about supporting millennials. When I was that age, we had email, we had the beginning of the internet, there was no social media, there was no Facebook, there was no, trillions of sound bites. I don't even know if there was a single notification that we got in those days. And so today, your lives are just filled with things that the adults in the room created. And today I'm coming here to invite you, if you're in my cohort, to look around you and see any young professional. For me, young is under the age of 40 up to 39. This is how I have defined this age that I'm talking about, the young professionals now who are destined and intended to be our leaders, our future leaders. I want to invite you to look around, be the adult in the room, and really get confident about your own wisdom of whatever sort that it is, whether it's in life or business, and do whatever you can to show up for our millennials. This week, I learned that a young professional I know was feeling stressed at work. And when I asked a few clarifying questions, I found out the real truth, which was she was given a position, but she was given double zero on any training to succeed in that position. It was a big position. It was awesome. It was amazing. But guess what? She's 26. Now she's 26 going on 46. She's smart, intuitive, articulate, professional, like she has it going on. But guess what? They didn't provide any training for her. When I found out that the work that she is supposed to be doing includes fundraising, I said to her, listen to me. I am stepping in and stepping up as an adult in your room, and I'm going to teach you my confident fundraising training method. And she said yes. Then she showed up on time, ready to go. And we spent only 90 minutes so far going over my methodology. And the reason I'm coming here live and sharing this with you is, guess what happened? She got emotional. I'm not saying she was sitting there sobbing or anything like that, but guess what? She had an emotional reaction to being shown and taught and trained a method of something that is 100% vital, necessary to her work, which nobody ever trained her to do. And she said to me, is this real? Can you really do it this way? And I said, yes, you can really do it this way. She said, but this looks easy. This feels organic. I can do this. I said, yes. I knew her enough. I had worked on a committee with her. That's where I met her. And I was very impressed with what I saw. And I knew enough to know that she would get it. And but there isn't a young professional I meet who I don't consider worthy of my time, effort, energy, and money, because that time that I spent with her was time that I would be paid by someone else to do something. I call that money for me. So, but I was happy. I was so happy. And I said, okay, well, let's go. And then we'll be scheduling more time. And let me tell you, friends, I will take as much time as it takes, because she is one of the people, a young millennial who is a future leader. And she could be leading sooner if we step aside and we help shore them up, because what they have to deal with is so difficult. I mean, if I think of a 26-year-old, where was she 5-6 years ago when COVID broke out? What was her life like at that pivotal time in her life? There's never been any mitigation of that, and so on and so forth, and etc. So I want to ask you, will you join me in being what I call an adult in the room? I don't know about this expression. I don't mean it to be demeaning or anything like that. Basically, that's the way it feels to me. Let's go, friends. You have wisdom, you have experience, you have maturity, and probably you have time, effort, energy, and some money to be able to support yourself and share and lift up the next generation of our leaders. And if you can do that, I invite you to do that. Look, if you are one of our leaders today, if you're in executive leadership, if any of this resonates with you about your young professionals who report to you, then let me know that. I can work with people to help them feel more confident in themselves, to really break through and show up. And this is a little bit of what we need as well. So, friends, whatever it takes, to support our millennials, I just want to say to you, let's go. Because honestly, they're so talented, they're so ready, they have so much to offer. And basically, they need us. I'm a coach, of course. I've been a coach for a very long time. I only started my confidence coaching practice about a decade ago, but I've been a coach in the fundraising world for so many years because I started so young in my career. Having a coach is, again, it's no crime and it's no shame. And also, every football player or pianist has a coach. Every high executive has a coach. So whether it's therapy that somebody might need or coaching that somebody might need, or most likely, you able to have time to just listen and ask a few questions and really help to be a bolster for them. I think that's kind of what I'm looking for. Yeah, we're all in this together. So I want to say thank you so much, and let's go. Let's support our millennials.